I'm going to finish reading King Solomon's Mines by Henry Rider Haggard, which, by the way, is actually a pretty awesome book. If you happen to be an Alan Quatermain fan, it's the first real Alan Quatermain novel, and if somehow or another I always missed reading the first Alan Quatermain novel, and it's actually pretty fantastic. If you like stuff set a fair time ago in Africa that's totally sexist, totally racist, and still adventure-filled, you will love this book.
Checking my audio. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the recorded version of the Behind the Scenes of Linux Action Show.
Recorded version of the live version of the Behind the Scenes
right,
of the
this
Linux Action
very
Show.
well... Oh, God, my tongue touched the mic thing, and now it's really bugging me.
Wow.
I know.
Kind of disgusting,
Gotta take a
Chris.
drink. This very well might be the first Linux Action Show you're watching with the new HTML5 video tag.
Kaboingy.
Maybe, if everything works out.
If you're on Firefox 3.5.
And I managed to get... Sometimes the Theor version doesn't encode so well. Anyways.
We'll figure it out.
So this episode's special in the sense that Bryan and I both have just stepped into the studio about 3 minutes ago.
Give or take.
And we are completely doing this one improvisational. We are not prepared in any way,
not even a little bit,
or form.
No. So normally we look over the news or do something. We are not going to.
What we're going to do is Chris will spend a lot of time looking in this general direction while Bryan talks.
And I'm just going to start saying things, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we're going to give it our best, and we'll probably take breaks in between the segments to kind of catch up and keep going.
Nope. We are not going to take any breaks. We are going to fly straight through and just see what happens. I think it's going to be better in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
What episode number is this?
This is season 10, 9, episode 10. Oh, is it? No, yeah. No,
10.
It's season 10, episode 7, I think.
7, right?
Yeah. You want me to check?
If you happen to have the link to Jupiter Broadcasting handy, have you been to Jupiter Broadcasting recently?
A couple of times.
Yeah.
I like some of the shows the guys do there. I'm not a big fan.
You can click on Linux Action Show right on the side.
I'm not a big fan of one of the shows those guys does, but see, hold on, my browser's lagging for the video embed. That's the wrong show. God, I'm just not gonna have a good show.
All right, episode 8.
I am already freaking sweating.
Season 10.
I'm already sweating.
8.
It is.
Let me make sure my wireless is off on my.
Son of a gun! It is so freaking hot, you guys. All right, I am already too warm.
Let's plow with this. It's season 10, episode 8. In case, remind me, shout it out at me if I forget.
Well, we're gonna record it right now. You ready?
Fantastic.
You know what? Jupiter Broadcasting is proud to present this episode in stereo, and then it's brought to you by GoDaddy. Use our code Linux to save 10%. Do one of those. Okay. I need a new one.
All right, ready?
Go in 3, 2.
This episode of the Linux Action Show. What was I going to say again? God. And that's a keeper, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.
All right.
This episode.
Oh, man. Oh, I haven't used this software in a while. No, that's not what I want. I wish we were drunk or something.
Oh, so we have an excuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no excuse for this. This is...
All right, so say Jupiter Broadcasting.
If it weren't for the fact that we have amazing audio quality, you'd almost think we weren't pros.
Say... This episode, okay, no. Here's what I want you to say.
For all of those out there, those of you out there who thinks, oh, Bryan's just a big mouthpiece, he just keeps talking, and he's a bad influence on Chris, yada, yada. This is just proof that I have nothing upstairs. It's all Chris's words coming out of my mouth.
All right, here's what I want you to say. I want you to say...
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
Jupiter Broadcasting presents this episode in stereo, and it's brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Use our code Linux saves 10%.
Okay.
10% is the number. 10%.
Okay. Code Linux to save 10%.
Here we go. 3, 2.
This episode of the Linux Action Show is brought to you by Jupiter Broadcasting in stereo sound. I said half of it right. What the hell do you want from me?
Oh, God. Oh,
you know what the problem is? The problem is your script. I don't like your script.
All right. You want to do your own script? You can do your own script. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, I'm ready to go.
Okay,
I can do this.
3, 2.
Jupiter Broadcasting presents this episode in stereo, brought to you in part by GoDaddy.com. Use our code Linux, that's Linux, and save 10%.
Nice.
That's a thing right there.
Dude,
I just did that.
I think you just nailed it.
Oh, I know. It's a gift. What can I say? I nail things.
I don't know what I just clicked there, but it's all right.
You just clicked a thing, dude.
All right.
Chris just did something.
I did.
Everybody's working for the weekend.
All right, chat room. I'm going to check in with you one time before we go here. Anything we need to do? Oh, man, I lost my theme.
We're clipping
you guys are both clipping a little bit now when you get loud.
Okay, well, don't get loud.
Yeah, let me check
Chris.
here. I'll turn it down a little bit. Just
turn
to
it
be
down
sure.
just a nickel. Just like a
dime?
nudge.
How about a dime?
I'm thinking a nickel. Maybe just like a 2 pence.
Cheapskate.
Turn down 2 pence.
Oh, man, my nose itches again.
It would just put your finger all over your nose and just rub it and just see what happens. You want to flip the thing?
Yeah, I'll flip the thing.
I like it when the thing is flipped. It makes it easier for me to look at it. And I like when the thing is flipped so I can look at the internet and see how the internet goes.
And how's the levels looking on that?
Well, I can't see the levels currently on that one. It's just gray is what it is.
Oh, I don't have to.
And Chris does not know how to currently set the levels, so we'll see what happens with that. Maybe we're not going to be recording on this one. It's possible. It's possible that we won't record in the future. Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. Waiting, ready for connection. Do. So seriously though, King Solomon's Mines, fantastic book. Absolutely friggin' awesome. I really don't know why there aren't more Alan Quartermain adventures. I mean, other than the fact that I think Henry Rider Haggard has long since passed away. But still, I mean, Alan Quartermain is just pimp. He's like a man's man hanging out in Africa being awesome.
I want you to know mentally while you were doing this,
Yeah.
we are sitting on the bridge of Kirk's Enterprise.
Which Kirk's Enterprise? I mean, which Enterprise of Kirk's?
William Shatner.
I know William
original
Shatner.
Series
I know
TV version
Okay.
of the bridge. We're about where Spock's. We are like if you put a
where are we
camera
at?
on
Yeah,
Spock's
where are we
station,
at right now? I'm trying to.
like picture Spock's station. Like if you put a camera on the wall.
Okay.
Where the chairs, we're kind of like facing that angle. Chairs behind us. The screen's got some stuff going on. So that's where we're at right now.
I got it.
Yeah.
No, that sounds fantastic. I'll just
so-
bump something real quick to ruin everything real quick.
all right, here we go. Let's remember to do the GoDaddy thing at the end of the segment. All right. Pick my
Got it.
nose, and I am recording.
And welcome to Season 10, Episode 8 of the Linux Action Show. My name is Brian. With me, as always, is Chris.
I don't have a runs Linux.
I just nailed that,
Yeah,
too.
you did. I'm
I
sorry.
remembered the number of the episode.
That was totally my bad. I'm sorry.
Oh,
All right, hold up.
Christopher.
I'll get it. I got it bookmarked. I'll get it real quick.
You pull that up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is it too quiet, chat room? Are we too quiet?
Or are we just perfect? I like it when people say that we're just perfect, but you guys can be honest if you want. You got something? See that?
I wish I was drunk. I really do wish I
I
was drunk.
kind of wish he was drunk too.
Fudge, I am sweating. It is too warm. I am
This
drinking
ice water's helping.
I am drinking green tea energy drink, lightly
Nice.
carbonated with flavoring of pomegranate.
I like pomegranates.
Do you? You can have some if you want.
Nah, I'm good.
It's green tea and pomegranate.
I want an energy drink. Last time I tried an energy drink over here, it kind of tasted like carbonated butthole.
Have I done this one? Hold up, David. Have I done this one?
I don't know. She's creeping me out, so you might have. But then again, I just get creeped out a lot.
I don't know if I've done this one.
I would go with it then. I mean, there's nothing that says that this thing that you say runs Linux has never run Linux before. It's just reminding people this runs Linux.
But I've also got this. I think I'm going to go with this because I know I haven't done this.
Oh, yeah? The BitTorrent box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Micah, you suppose?
Mika or Micah?
The Mika?
Yeah, something like that.
The Mika Linux-based BitTorrent box.
Okie dokie.
All right. Here we go in 3, 2.
And welcome to Linux Action Show, Season 10, Episode 8. My name is Brian. With me, of course, is Chris.
Hey, Brian. Micah's Linux-based BitTorrent box for your home theater runs Linux.
Oh, R-E at the end of theater.
Brian, check this thing out, all right?
All right, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, picture something about the size of a Mac Mini.
It looks exactly like a Mac Mini, actually.
Right? It does, actually.
Actually, it looks exactly like a Mac Mini. And in the picture behind it, it almost looks like there's an iPod Shuffle sitting behind it. What is this?
This is a little home PC DVR Linux box that comes with a bunch of BitTorrent capabilities built in with some trackers already pre-built in, things like that. It's kind of like IPv4 for some legal stuff, and then maybe also you could use it for other means. It also
illicit
has
purposes. Which we do not condone.
It has, like interfaces for YouTube. So if you want to watch a Billy Mays tribute, things like that. And that's too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Too soon.
It's a nice little box.
It's not all that funny to start with, but too soon. Sure, we'll go with that.
Here's the thing. It does HD video. It looks like it does really great. It's got HDMI out, which is always nice. Plays all the different kind of formats out there. It does 1080p video, which is nice. MKV files, XVids, it's all good.
Better than the Apple TV does.
Yep. Apple TV maxes out at 720p. Also supports FTP. It's a lot like, in a lot of ways, the Popcorn Hour, only it's maybe a little more indie than that, I would say.
Yeah,
so
it's a little more indie than a Popcorn Hour. Has a built-in hard drive, I believe.
Yep.
And so it's more like a PC than the Popcorn Hour is.
The built-in hard drive comes in 2 capacities. You can get a 250 gig for $200 or a terabyte for $300.
That's really not bad.
And you figure that includes the whole machine, which is pretty nice.
That's not too shabby.
And it'll show up it'll show up as a Samba server on your network. It'll connect to universal plug-and-play devices.
Nice.
So like things like Xboxes can stream for. Anyways,
okay,
I love a Linux-powered theater, so I thought I'd link to it.
Can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong.
All right, Brian.
All right, Chris.
Brian, the season 10, the 10th season of the Linux Action Show.
That's this current season, actually.
For you, the people that are just watching for around the first time, we like to do a little thing called every 10 episodes, it's a new season.
Right. We kind of break it up a little bit.
We do. And
some people ask us why we do that. We do it for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
For one, it's nice to be able to take a little break sometimes. Just to, kind of do a little recharger. Part of that is that with the release cycle of a lot of the different distributions, there's a couple of gaps throughout the year where there really isn't much news. I mean, there's sometimes there'll be just like a month. Like September will come. And in the middle of September, nothing happens. We'll get like a little bit of like some software patches.
It's truth, Brian.
But like there's no big app updates, no new distros, nothing.
Preach it, Brian.
So we got that going on. And the other thing is we like to have kind of themes going on. We like to have some basic thing going into the season, like what's our goal for the season? What do we want to focus on? This season, we're taking a critical stance.
Yeah, soapboxy season.
It was a very soapboxy season so far. And in some, you might almost say a negative season in that we were kind of taking a look at what was wrong with Linux and how to fix it.
We were kicking teeth and taking names, Brian.
It's really what we were doing, and I don't think we're gonna stop. But the season before this, what were we talking about? What was season 9?
We did a lot of hardware reviews in season 9.
A lot of hardware.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. So now what we're trying to look at is looking ahead to season 11. So what do we want to do in season 11? And so we want to ask you guys, what is it that you would like to see?
What do you want?
More focus on? Because there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Right?
I mean, it's not like we have any lack of stuff out there that we can think about.
No, sir.
So if you've got an opinion, what would you like to hear more about? What would really genuinely interest you? Write in and let us know. Also, just hop on into the forum at jupitercolony.com and just discuss it in there. We listen.
There's a pretty good chance, too, if you utilize our voicemail feature, you're probably going to get into the show because we like hearing people.
And here's the thing.
If it's too long, though, I still listen to them, and I'll be like, Brian, there's these voicemails and stuff like that. But if it's too long, we don't play them, so sometimes they get... We still take the input, we just don't play it on the show. Like longer than 45 seconds, a minute, and it's...
We're probably not going to play it. Yeah. Keep it short if you do it, but we love the voice feedback because it gives it kind of a personal touch.
Yeah, and
it's very nice.
You can, if you want, there's a couple different ways. If you're in the U.S., you have several options. You can call us if you got like a fancy long-distance plan. That's 1-425-533-2217. Also, if you go to jupiterbroadcasting.com and click the contact info link, there is a call me widget on there where Google Voice will call you. You give them your phone number, and you can stay anonymous. We don't get that records if you don't want us to have it. And then they'll call you toll free.
That's a pretty cool deal, really.
If you're a Skyper or you're maybe across the pond and you don't want to make such a long-distance call, you can just Skype us at Linux Action Show.
It works great. I love it.
Yeah, or if you just want to shoot us some feedback on Twitter, I'm twitter.com/Chris LAS.
And I am Bryan LAS.
With
All right.
a Y.
With a Y.
So I just wanted to, basically I just wanted to put that out there. We're seeking your feedback for season 11. And I don't know how much time we may or may not take off. I
have no idea at this point.
Yeah, as the season gets closer, because we're only on the 7th episode. As the season gets closer,
8th episode. There's 2 more episodes.
We're only on the 8th episode, so
which means, interestingly, we are also 2 episodes away from our 100th episode.
Boom.
100.
I know, man.
100. So this is 98, right?
Huh?
This is episode 98.
Yeah, this is 98.
So here we are, episode 98. We got to do something big for 100. We got to do something.
You think so?
Maybe go on location somewhere. Maybe we'll just record a normal episode, but have a little party or something. Maybe we'll all just have a get together at some bar and just get blitzed. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but we got to do something.
Yeah, I'd take
100 episodes.
I'd take ideas on that too.
Seriously.
But,
so if you got any ideas, let us know.
Yeah. All right. So anything else we want to talk about at the top?
Well, I would like to mention, however briefly, that this episode is in fact sponsored by GoDaddy.com, which, if you're not familiar with the GoDaddy.com, then you have never watched a Super Bowl before, because they're awesome and they have fantastic commercials with girls running around and stuff. It's great. It's great. And that means you should probably go to GoDaddy.com. You can register domain names there, and you can get server hosting there.
Absolutely.
And if you use our codes, such as Linux, which that's fun to type in Linux as a code somewhere.
Saves you 10%.
All in caps, because if you type it all in caps, that's like you're shouting Linux at GoDaddy. It's fantastic. You get 10% back.
Yeah.
I mean, how can that possibly go wrong?
Who doesn't want to save money using the code Linux?
You probably want to do that right now.
But if you're going to get a little hosting, I mean, if you're going to do a little hosting.
Just a smudge.
And they've got some good hosting. They've also got their hosting GoDaddy connection area where you've got user-rated different kinds of modules. You got a hosting package there? Oh, one-click WordPress install. Oh, sure, one-click
That's fantastic.
And they're all rated, user-reviewed.
Now, you might almost say, that's cheating. Bryan and Chris, I run my own server. Well, that's fine. You are wasting your time. Go to GoDaddy.com.
And when you do that, if you hosting, do code Linux20. Linux 20 will save you 20% on hosting at GoDaddy.com.
20% off. Come on. Every $10, that's saving $2. Good deal. Anyway, I had to say that right now because GoDaddy, they help us do the things and pay the rent and keep the things and the whatnots in the going.
Right?
Yes.
All right, Bryan. Well, let's do the news.
I think that downright may be the longest advertising we've ever done for GoDaddy.com.
Oh, they earned it.
Yeah, what that basically means is Bryan did not have the ad copy in front of him, and so he was just going to start talking about GoDaddy and see where it goes.
It went fine, I think.
It totally did.
Yeah.
It gives it that human touch.
Right? And we're not machines here, Bryan.
We're not machines.
We're not Cylons.
We wouldn't be like that.
No.
Well, I mean, we could be Cylons.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell.
In Senior Jerkface's Ronald Moore's Battlestar universe,
be
we wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
No.
So
we would just reincarnate naked in a pile of goo.
Any of you? We should mention the donation thing at that time.
At the end of the show, we'll touch on it.
Yeah, all right. Any of you players out there have any links to news stories that we should cover in this episode?
Oh, man, the internet's on fire with this episode. Everyone's like, can you believe Bryan and Chris at the Linux Act? You know what we could do? We could just talk about how Fedora's annoying us.
But that would be, for one, that's sort of like, I don't want to have like two really negative shows.
I don't either. I want to talk about good stuff.
Yeah.
Did we get, we put out a call out to try and get some voice feedback on that issue.
Feedback? Yeah, let me check.
Dive in there real quick.
I'll log into Google Voice because honestly,
that would be great.
I figure if
I sent off a few emails to some of the people who had been emailing me, detracting, saying that I was wrong and Chris was wrong and all these other things, saying, you know what, here's a chance to speak up and you can go ahead and give us some voice information. We will play it on the show and we won't edit it or anything. and no one's taking me up on it.
So I had to put it broadcasting now. You've got leave us voicemail. What?
What?
I don't know what that means. So we got one on 6/11/09.
These are weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah, I'll check Skype because I think I have it configured wrong. I think I might have been a real douche.
You think you might have screwed up the Google Voice?
Yeah, I think I might have been a big douchebag.
It's possible.
You know when you're a douche.
I've heard about it.
So I was thinking about making this the top story. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Where's the thing?
There we go. Chris is checking Skype for our Skype voicemail real quick.
I just tried to log in as linuxactionshow.com. What is my... Cast Blast is going to be amazing.
Oh, dude.
It's a good thing there's a couple other guys here.
Yeah.
Let's chug some caffeine. See if that gets the old brain going. Hey, nice. Look at people sending us little messages here on the thing. Oh, yeah, we got some voicemails here on the thing. So we call Aaron Saigo.
Yeah, let's call Aaron.
Hey, I want to call later. All right. Rob called on... no, that's old.
We don't have any voicemail.
We don't have any voicemail, which is
and
weird.
we drunk dial Aaron Saigo.
No, because honestly, if we don't have any voicemail, then we don't have to spend any time on the issue, and I don't.
That's probably good. I think
it's good.
Should we just ignore the issue entirely?
Hey, what? When HDNTNG? What's that mean, Brian?
What?
When he NTNG Brian.
When he NTNG/Brian. What the heck does that mean in the chat room right now? Sorry, wireless Kabird. What? Alrighty. Lol.
All right, here we go.
That is a question.
Let's just roll.
Question for the ages.
All right. Here we go.
Shall we do the news?
Yeah. Let's
I think you forgot to do let's do the news.
No, I didn't. Let's do the news. Ow. Oh, I hurt my back. Oh, I did that.
Well, don't do that anymore. All right, well, click a thing in and I'll talk for a second.
See, check it out. Check it out.
I believe you. Nice.
I know.
You did it.
It's built in. I couldn't not do it.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2.
What's new in the news this week?
All right, Brian. Our top story.
That was
on
awesome.
The news docket
right now.
For this week.
For those of you who were not watching the video, you missed a totally awesome mic swoop thing.
My new all right, Brian maneuver.
That was fantastic.
All right, so the
very
top story.
aerobic.
I mean, I just don't think there's any way around this, and as it should be, the top story on the news docket for this week
is Transformers 2.
Firefox 3.5 has been released.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's about time. I mean, not to harsh on the Firefox mellow or anything, but like, man, like Chrome was coming out of the gate like swinging and punching with like they Chrome like it was like a boxer, but like those totally awesome like 1980s movies where they wrapped like the gauze around their hands and dip it in glue and then dip it in like nails and glass and stuff, and then they start punching and eat raw eggs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Firefox was just like, whatever.
What's up, everybody?
No, we're faster than before. Trust us. And then no one really noticed because everyone stopped using Firefox. But now,
so
they're coming out swinging.
Let's go over
again.
some of the top 10 features.
All right.
This
lay it on me. What do we got?
This
for
here,
Firefox?
this little ditty of information is courtesy of thelifehacker.com, and which is just lifehacker.com. There is no the. Number 10 on the top 10 Firefox features is undo closed window. Now,
all right, that's great. I don't care about that. Continue.
Oh, come on. You've never accidentally closed a window and been like, OS, I've meant to not close that window.
I mean, I guess I have, but then you know what I do? I open a window and then I type it back in, and I'm fine.
Shut up, Brian. I hate you.
Well, don't you?
All
I
right.
mean, come on. It takes like 2 seconds to fix that.
Shut up. I got one for you.
All right, bring it on.
Forget this site.
Okay, what's that do?
Any one site in your history, right-click, forget this site.
So instead of clearing all of your history, you just clear the cookies and the browsing history and the bookmarks and the whatnot for just one domain.
Bingo.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Right?
I mean, assuming that you're browsing something that you don't want other people to know you're browsing.
Well, and
that's kind of nice.
It would
I
have
guess.
to be like, forget this 8-9 sites.
Alrighty then. So that's okay. So that's great for perverts then. Moving on. All right, what else we got? Come on. I mean, so far it's kind of like okay, whatever. But like like Opera does like I think both of those things already.
Tab tearing. Okay.
Oh, so you mean like being able to take your tab and rip it off of the window and it creates its own window,
or
remerge,
or merge to another window.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so but like what Opera and Chrome do currently.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, it needed that. That's a very good one.
The awesome bar just got a little more awesome. Now,
okay.
I don't know. Do you ever tag your bookmarks in Firefox?
Nah.
So, like I know, like when we do these live shows, I know that I need to go to. I have a time converter bookmark, but it's like I got a lot of bookmarks, so I tag it as time zone converter. Yeah. And so then in the awesome bar, I just type time zone converter and it goes right enter, there. And then it goes to that site.
I dig that. That's cool. I like that. Yeah. That's nice. Nice feature.
All right. So they've also upped the feature that I wish they didn't even have to have, and that is Smarter Session Restore. So if your S goes and hits the fan and you lose your browser, the new Smarter Restore feature goes along and lets you selectively restore which tabs should come back online, which is nice because I've had it restore a tab that's causing the crash, and I just got like this loop of crashing. So I'm like, so now you could say don't restore like if it's like a a Flash app or something. Great.
You know, it would be a really great feature.
Process isolation?
Or process isolation, or hey, Firefox, don't crash all the time.
Process isolation that would help a lot. Is in the works. I don't know. See, here's what I'm worried about is it's not currently listed as a must-have feature for Firefox 3.6, and Firefox 3.6 is currently about a year away.
See, this is the problem with Firefox. It's becoming quickly irrelevant. And it's amazing. I mean,
these are nice
It's
things,
amazing
though.
how quickly that happens. I mean, 2 years ago, Firefox was like the darling of the internet world. Everyone was like, this is the future of browsing.
I talked about this a little bit on the forum because we have a thread for Firefox, a pretty good thread going for Firefox 3.5. And so there's just plugins in Firefox that I just got to have. I mean, there's extension add-ons. I love them.
There are some good ones.
There's
no
doubt.
And
so what I've been doing is I have, in my panel, I have a drawer. And in that drawer, I have like 6 Prism standalone apps.
Really?
Because it's becoming to the point now where a browser crash to me is as critical almost as an OS crash. Because
if you're doing everything in the browser,
my email's in the browser. I've got more and more stuff. When I'm writing web posts, when I'm submitting videos and or uploading videos to Tubemogul, all this different stuff is all
web-based. You can't have anything be taken down.
I can't.
No.
And I'm too ADD to just sit there on one tab and only do one thing. I have other stuff open. I have my email open.
It's interesting because that's called multitasking, which computers are supposed to be able to do.
So I've been supplementing Firefox's lack of process isolation with a series of minefield applications.
Right.
Or Prism.
Prism, right.
Minefield is Firefox in development. Prism is like a little tiny runtime of standalone process of Firefox.
Right. Which is a good idea.
Chrome has it. I forget what they call it, but and then of course Chrome. In Chrome, each tab is actually physically a separate process.
Right. Which is great.
And baller. And
yeah, that's awesome.
So I've supplemented that feature, but I would really like to see it. But that said, moving on. Of course, now we've got decent private browsing mode. Now, Firefox has had an add-on called Stealther that I've used for a while. And where I use this is not actually for porn or bank sites, but like when I go to different websites where I have multiple logins, like I have a personal account and I have a Jupiter Broadcasting account and I have a work account, right? Like I do this for Google stuff. I'll go to private mode. That way it doesn't set the cookie, so I can go to the site and I don't log myself out of my other session.
Yeah.
But the problem with Stealther is it just wouldn't save cookies at all.
Right.
Chrome and WebKit, Safari, I always call it WebKit, and IE, and now Firefox all have a session where you can set cookies, you can save your login for that session, and then when you end the private session, it's all gone.
It's
no
porn
trace.
Mode. It's just porn mode.
It's porn mode, but but if you're a multiple Gmail account user or something like that, you can in one private session open up one Gmail account, and the other private or in your regular session have your normal Gmail account. It's kind of handy.
See, that is handy. I'm not saying it's not handy. I'm just saying it's porn mode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
So the next one I'm going to kind of skip over is color profiles. I don't really
care.
dig.
Why would you want color profiles in a browser?
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
So they say on the web, most colors look the same, though, because they're filtered and optimized for quick viewing in every browser. Firefox 3.5 introduces dynamic color profiles for each picture, meaning that whatever the graphic designer or photographer saw when they're doing the work, you'll see on the web. I don't know how that works.
No, it's not whatever the graphic designer saw when they took the picture. It's what the web developer set the page to view as, which again, and still that's only going to work in exactly a specific version of Firefox.
Right.
And then that's one extra thing that the Firefox devs have to make sure stays working exactly the same on every platform going forward. Plus the gamma on each platform is different, so you're actually not going to end up with the same results. Bad idea.
All right. I agree. But the third improvement, which I very much
I used to work in color correction, color theory software.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
It's just that's a bad approach. Yeah.
Number 3, though, the number 3 feature is TraceMonkey JavaScript engine.
Oh, no, this is
cool.
cool.
The TraceMonkey JavaScript engine is something that I've been playing with on and off in Minefield, doing different benchmarks. And it's supposed to be, buckle up, it's supposed to be 20 to 40 times faster than SpiderMonkey, which is the original, which is the previous JavaScript engine for Firefox.
Right.
20 to 40 times faster.
That's significant.
No one's benchmarks have shown that, but it is shown as much faster. It is not as fast as Chrome's V8 or whatever WebKit is, but it is significantly faster than the previous version.
At least it's better, because Firefox was kind of pokey.
I've noticed it. Yeah, I've noticed it like on
is a lot better
on the WordPress admin page and on Dig and.
Oh yeah, I noticed it in WordPress too. It was that's pretty substantial.
Tell me what you think of this one, the number 2 feature. Geolocation support. So if the web developer designs it, you can prompt the user for their location. So an example is you're trying to find, a store locator, and the website now, if you're running Firefox, can just prompt for the store for your location and then automatically show you the nearest store.
Huh.
So that's
it's a very cell phony feature.
It is very cell phony.
I mean, I guess it's cool
because they know they know where your IP is.
Yeah.
Because they can tell that
you're
generally
there.
the IP gets you in the general.
They get you like
city
within
range.
exactly within the zip code of an area.
I'm like I think my IP show up as Everett or something like that.
But you're still close.
You're within 10
you're
miles.
within 10 miles. Yeah, it's not bad.
All
it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's to me it feels like those are those are cool things, but those aren't necessarily what I want to see out of Firefox. So for me, it's kind of a letdown in a way, but they're cool features. Yeah. I'm not going to knock those features. They did a good job on that.
The nice thing is
and it works pretty well. So that's cool.
The nice thing though, and you can turn it off. So if you're paranoid, you can turn it off. But the nice thing is these are also there's nothing proprietary to Firefox about that. The other browser makers could develop it. Of course they won't because they're all dicks. But you know what I mean.
It's funny because I do.
The number 1 feature in Firefox 3.5.
Oh, I'm interested. What's the number 1?
The video superpowers in HTML5, meaning the video tag feature is now live. Now, this is really aimed at making one day it's as simple to embed a video in a web page as open tag video, path to video, close tag video. Yep. And you're done.
That is a great idea. Yeah. I do like that a lot. Yeah. Now, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, currently, we're kind of pushing the Theora, the OGG Theora format.
Well, Firefox 3.5 has a built-in OGG Theora decoder.
Cool.
And Vorbis decoder too.
But if we're talking video, the Theora is the one that matters, really.
And Chrome will too, or Chrome does. Chrome 3.0 does, which I think is not the. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what because it's only out. That version I think is only out on Windows. I
think so.
But
I think I know so. Yeah.
The thing is Microsoft has pretty much been ambivalent. They really haven't said what they're going to support because it's up to the browser maker.
Right.
And Apple said, no, we're doing MPEG 4, H.264. We're not doing OGG.
Right.
And so right now, it's a little bit of a gray area.
It's not a gray area. It's like a huge muddy brown area.
It is.
Because here's the thing. It is not going to happen, period, where there's going to be a standard video tag that's going to use OGG Theora. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not a chance of that.
All you need is for Microsoft not to do it.
Right. So even
with Firefox is like 13% market share worldwide or something like that, or is it? It might be more than that.
But it's not much.
But if it's not more than 50, then
it doesn't matter.
And so I think it's going to end up being what it is today. Really quickly, let me just comment as a side story. The the W3C has announced that they're going to scrap the codec-specific requirements in HTML5. HTML5 will just say support the video tag. It won't say what that codec must be.
No, you can do whatever video you want. And so what that means is Ogg Theora is not the standard for internet video.
Interestingly enough, Google,
whether we want it to be or not.
Google, Nokia, and Apple, and probably others too, but Google, Nokia, and Apple were the big ones that came out and said, we do not want it to be Ogg.
Yep.
Google said it will cost us just way too much in bandwidth because the compression in Ogg Theora is not what they can get out of VP6 in Flash.
Yep.
Apple, of course, because they want H.264 and AAC to rule the world, which it kind of does right now.
Kind of does, yeah.
Nokia said that they are concerned about patent issues.
That actually kind of raised a few eyebrows with me.
Yeah.
I was very curious about that.
At least 2 eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's
at least.
It's an interesting thing, and I don't really know enough to talk about it. I do happen to have a client who is an IP lawyer, and he said the same thing. And then it clicked with me. And this was before this came up. He's actually been working on a I can't say too much actually, but he's been working on something that involves open source licensing and an acquisition. And their product uses for video playback. It uses a bunch of Ogg Theora videos.
Sure.
And I guess right now there is some concern about something in that area, and I don't know any more than that. And then it clicked with me that, and I was mentioning this to Bryan on the way over to record here, is you will never in your life meet a lawyer that gives you a firm legal answer on something.
You really won't.
Because, for one, that's what judges are for. That's not what lawyers are for.
That is kind of by definition what judges are for.
And then also, if a lawyer ever said, oh, yeah, no, that's fine, then they just close the door on a potential revenue stream down the road.
Seriously, they just got rid of their job.
If they say, well, there is some room for concern, then they know that...
And there's always room for concern in everything.
And they know that in 2 months they can bill you $475 an hour to try to figure out if there's actually room for concern.
Right. So that bottle of water you're about to drink, I'm sure there's room for concern about that bottle of water.
Well, about the plastics, I'm sure there's room.
Or the water inside of it, or the fact that you are drinking it on the internet right now. Right. There's probably concerns there.
There's room for concern,
concerns. Brian. Yeah. So I'd be interested. I would almost like to sit down and talk with someone from Nokia and see specifically what their thoughts are on the matter.
But
just because I'm interested and curious. If that's really something we need to be concerned about, because for the most part, when I hear companies come out and say, we have some legal concerns about this particular thing, I'm like, well, okay, well, tell me exactly what that is and exactly why. Otherwise, STFU, please.
Yeah.
It's like, I really stop talking. Whether it be someone talking about Ogg Theora or Samba or Mono or the Linux kernel itself or a name or the fact that people are using the word Firefox somewhere, things like that. I'm like, well, okay, well, tell me specifically what it is exactly. I think, otherwise, please stop talking.
Not to go down the monopath, because we're going to try to avoid the topic.
Yeah, we'll try and avoid that a little bit.
But Ubuntu came out this week, and I think their stance is extremely practical, and it is that until the patent owner contacts them with a patent concern of infringement,
why would they have any reason to think otherwise?
They're not going to worry about it, because until that happens, it is a completely made-up issue.
Right, exactly. So just do what you're going to do. I mean, don't blatantly go out there and start ripping people off. I mean, try and, be a cool guy and everything like that. Yeah. And don't, if you know you're doing something wrong, stop doing it. But if you think you're doing everything right, unless someone says otherwise, don't worry about it.
So we've been playing with the back to the.
Let's go back to Ogg Theora for a a bit.
Well, back to the video tag in Firefox 3.5. So the latest episode of Beer is Tasty, which came out last week.
Yep.
I've replaced the player on the page with a video tag embedded player.
Nice.
Figuring those out there that have Firefox
let's give it a
3.5.
shot.
Want to try it out.
Let's see how it works. Yeah.
And using some HTML, not even JavaScript, just some simple HTML. I've set it up so that it does graceful fallback, so that if you come in Firefox 3.5, you get an Ogg video. If you come in Internet Explorer 7, you get a Flash player. And if you come in Safari on the Mac, you get QuickTime.
Wow.
It's pretty
Look
great.
At us supporting platforms and formats.
So, and I'm going to try to do it with this episode of Linux Action Show. I say that with a caveat because I'm going to try encoding the Ogg video, the Theora video in a new way so that, here's the thing. I cannot get Theora video in a reasonable size that does not reasonable quality that does not take up an ungodly amount of size.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try a new encoding method using Handbrake, which I've done an in-depth look episode on a while back. You can find and try to encode with a forced quality setting instead of a well, I won't get into it, but so hopefully this video.
Not getting into it.
Hopefully this video, if I do it right, I'll get into it because I don't want to give you ideas and have it be wrong. Hopefully this video will be available using the video tag. But all right, so I've tried it on a few different systems, and it
seems to work.
Well, and it is yeah, it does. That's cool.
The cool point.
I sent a shout out on Twitter saying, hey, does anybody have IE6 they could test on?
Right.
I verified that it works on everything from IE6 to Chrome and Firefox.
That's awesome.
iPhones.
Awesome.
Every time, though, on multiple systems, whenever the OGG video is used, it is definitely heavier.
It's slower.
Considerably,
it consumes a lot more resources than any of the other playback mechanisms.
Loading is slower. Not the loading of the actual video is slower too, but that's the server.
I think people are going to be upset about it because we've gotten a lot of complaints about the Flash player, and everyone's like, especially in the Linux side, we're like, oh man, the Flash player is just such a pig of resources and it's so slow. Honestly, you guys, as soon as you go to load the OGG version, you're going to be about 10 times more angry. Yeah. Trust me.
And I'm doing it on really pretty fast systems.
Yeah, and it's really noticeable on even the good stuff.
Yeah, the page renders slower. And
there's a hiccup when you first start to load, like literally where basically the page is frozen.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
You guys aren't going to like it probably, but we'll see. I'm hoping. See, the problem is to improve that player, I either have to replace... Well, I'm kind of stuck because it's built into Firefox, so Firefox has to rev Firefox.
Yeah, there has to be a new version of Firefox.
Mozilla has to rev Firefox.
And then you have to download and install it.
Yeah, so I'll be curious. I'm going to continue to support it out there. I'll do all our posts with it to I just want one freaking video format. I don't care.
Seriously.
And
make things easier.
I'm going to listen to your feedback and see what everybody thinks. So I'll be curious.
We'll keep playing with it.
It's not the savior that I was hoping for.
No. What can you do?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. We'll see as things improve and I tweak the encoding, but it seems to be that the actual rendering of that particular component is just slow. We'll find out. Down the road, we'll see. The other thing is right now, I don't think it's going to take mainstream adoption until more people run it because you can't do things that you can do with the Flash player.
Right.
For example, there's technology out there like the Flow player for Flash that lets you do pre-rolls, which you probably hate as a viewer. But for a lot of, like, if you ever go to revision3.com, they force these really annoying pre-roll videos on you.
Yeah, they do.
But that's how they pay the bandwidth bill for that video. It wouldn't be so bad
if their pre-rolls were better.
That's true. Or if they weren't so loud.
Yeah.
But that's how they pay generally for the bandwidth for that video.
And it's cool because they can make them dynamic. So over time, they can actually update them. Now, these sorts of things are not doable with the HTML video tag.
So Revision 3 has videos on there from 2 years ago that they have today's ads on, which for them means that they're still making current revenue off those old videos.
Right.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
That's a feature of current Flash players that is not a feature of the players that use the video tag.
Yeah, the video tag is really the only thing it's really good for is maybe throwing a video up on a homepage. Right now. I'm
hoping as more people use it, these things will have to come.
And they'll get improved. I really hope so because I like the idea of having it be a standard across all browsers.
As it is now, anyone that watches any of our stuff with the video tag using the built-in OGG player in Firefox 3.5, there won't be any of those annoying, which most of you probably block, but there won't be those like YouTube lower third ads.
Right.
So we won't make any money off the video, which means that our revenues to pay the bills go down.
Right.
So
it's not exactly a great.
It's
not
a so it's not a good thing. As a content
it's
producer,
bad all the way around.
It's a difficult situation for us because we know what you want as the viewer. You want to use OGG Theora and you want to use this video tag, and you don't want Flash. But for us, we need to help pay the bills.
Right. But I mean, if we provide the OGG one, well, bandwidth costs go up, production time goes up, we provide less features, our site loads slower, and the quality of the video is lower, and we earn less money. It's kind of jank, really, when you think about it. So my hope is, though, that in future revs of Firefox, that they'll fix that up a bit. Yeah. And maybe in future revs of Chrome, things will continue to improve there, too. So and the encoder and the decoder will get a little bit more streamlined and a little more fast.
So
that may help.
I think the answer is for now we're going to use it and help it improve because
that's all I could do.
If people don't use it, then it won't improve.
Wow, that was deep.
So you got to be part of the solution, Brian. All right, Brian, The next story on the news
That's
docket.
so deep, man. You're just blowing me away today.
You're welcome.
You're just Mr. Positive over there.
I know.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
The next story on the news docket, Brian, for this week.
Yes.
The good guys over at Fluendo. Now, Fluendo makes those really high-quality codec packs.
Oh, I like Fluendo.
They also make, what's that media center?
Elisa, or now Movida.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
which is an awesome. They actually have been updating their plugins for that and whatnot. It's worth checking out Movida again if you haven't done so in the last 3 weeks.
I guess it's not like a Myth TV killer, but it might be like an Xbox Media Center killer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much akin to Xbox Media Center, except it's very lightweight.
It's open source.
Open source,
Yeah.
runs really great on every platform, and it's just very, very
and it looks good.
looking. Yeah, it's
looks
simple
good.
but elegant and classy. It's got clean lines, and it's not cheap. And in no way does it feel cheap.
And it's available for Windows 7 for all of you Windows 7 users out there.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean it's very, very nice. Anyway, Fluendo, I mean those are
look
two
at
things.
these cool plugins they've got for it too.
Oh yeah, and the amount of plugins that are coming out, because it's just growing exponentially. A lot of cool
plugins,
a lot of cool things written in Python.
DeviantArt, that is DeviantArt, a great idea for a media center.
Great idea.
Movie trailers plugin. All right, so anyways, we got distracted here.
Yeah, Movita's great.
So the blokes over at Fluendo have come out with a DVD player for Linux. Well, this is nothing too new, but it's a legal DVD player that you can purchase. It's €20, but they've really focused on really getting great DVD quality. So if you have a Linux box hooked up to your TV, and you've noticed if you maybe are using Zine, and you're watching DVDs with Zine, and because that's like what Myth TV calls on, and then you
get
watch
lots
that
of tearing,
and you watch that same DVD on a PS3, the PS3 will make it look about 200 times better
at least.
So
holy moly! I mean, Zine and whatnot. It's just not doable.
Yeah. So the Fluendo guys are like, you know what? We're gonna make a DVD player that's just all about making DVDs look great under Linux.
Yep.
It supports Dolby Digital surround sound, so you can get Dolby Digital out of your Linux box. You put it in there. It's got supposedly. And I haven't seen it myself. It's just come out, but they've really focused.
To try this.
They've got a great upscaler. They've got resume from last position support, which is great for the spousal approve factor. If the spouse puts. Say she comes up, she puts a DVD in the drive, she's watching it with Myth TV, she walks away, comes back, and it doesn't resume. That's an angry wife.
That is an angry wife.
And of
Nobody wants an angry wife.
Legal support for playback of encrypted DVDs, so you can legally play encrypted DVDs.
See that? No legal gray area there.
Yeah.
It's just legal.
Yeah, exactly. So
end of story.
Anyways, you can go over to fluendo.com. I'll link to it in the show notes, but if you wanted to check that
That's very, very cool. Their codecs are great, so it's worth taking a look at.
I'm assuming that it's an amazing product for quality based on what they've told me, but also based on the fact that their track record's so good.
Their past work has been so good. I trust it. I need to try it so I can actually review it, but it's a great idea.
All right, Brian, the next story on the news docket for this week.
Oh, yes?
You remember IX Systems? These are the guys that purchased the PCBSD project, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was a long time ago, it seems like a year or so ago.
And they've just continued to fund PCBSD, which if you want to try out BSD, but you want a desktop version, PCBSD has got to be the way to go.
PCBSD is great. Their package format, their little installer format is great.
Their freaking rocking
are awesome
dude.
Because they do this thing, and this is great, where basically you install it, and it installs all of the dependencies for your application as within basically the folder for that application.
Yep.
So each application has its own set of dependencies. Now this ends up taking a lot more drive space and a lot more memory space later on, but it's great because you don't end up in the Windows equivalent of DLL hell or the Linux equivalent of having competing package versions out of sync.
Right.
And it's just phenomenal.
And it's super easy to install stuff.
It's a really cool idea.
It's a double-click install to get GIMP and you're done.
Oh, it's really cool. Really cool.
So IX Systems, I like the approach they're taking here. So they've announced a workstation built
well, it's
for
not like installing GIMP is all that hard. I mean, installing most things on Linux is pretty easy.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm just saying, they took it up just a little extra. They just took it up that
here's
notch.
Where it is. Here's the reason is because if you're bringing over a Windows user, the Windows user is used to going online, downloading a file, and running the setup.exe. And when you go online, you download a PBI, and you double-click on the PBI, and then it installs it.
It acts like it,
yeah.
But except it's
so it's a conceptual thing that's a lot easier for Windows users.
Yeah. It's kind of like
not geeks, but
it's kind of like the Mint files with Linux Mint.
Yep.
They got your one store you go to, you download the .mint file, and then it does the install. Yeah.
Or
hit your forehead with your hand.
Well, what is it called on on Ubuntu? I just used it earlier the week to install Ubuntu 1, where you go and Ubuntu has a one-click install now, and it downloads a little thing that adds to your repository.
Yeah, SUSE has that too.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember.
All right, so the thing that IX Systems is doing, because we're talking about them, is they're shipping
That's what we're talking about.
a workstation built for PCBSD.
Nice.
But here's what I like about the approach that these guys are taking. Now, first of all, it's a pretty nice box. It is an Intel Core i7 box.
Ooh.
It comes with an NVIDIA 9800, and it
Nice.
goes up to 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM, whisper quiet
I want
fans.
16 gigs, so that works well.
So you don't. I don't think you buy it directly from IX Systems, so I can't tell you what the price is yet because it's up to the reseller. Would be my understanding. But anyways, here's what they're doing that I like. I know I've said that 100 times, so I'm going to get to it now.
Get right to it.
They've announced a couple. And they've announced them for the last couple of years. They've partnered with Opera, and they've they've made an agreement with Adobe to legally distribute Flash pre-installed, set up. Same with Opera, pre-installed and set up.
Awesome.
And if you think about it, PCBSD is a KDE-based desktop.
Right.
And so is Opera. Opera is Qt-based.
Right.
And so it fits in really good with a
that's
KDE.
great.
If you don't want to use Conqueror. And Firefox is GTK, so it looks a little out of place.
I am a big fan of
so
Opera.
They're
Opera's
shipping.
nice.
They're shipping it with Opera. They're shipping it with Flash already built in. They're getting PCBSD on the shelves of Fry's electronic stores. I know that's at least a big electronics chain here in the U.S.
Nice.
And they're striking a similar deal with Micro Center, which they might even carry the hardware there.
Really?
IX Systems is going at it, dude. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
They're unstoppable.
Right? So
way to go.
I'm pretty impressed. They're also they've also said, and there's no real details on this yet. Firefox. They've also said that they're working on PCBSD based laptops.
Really?
Yeah, here's the interesting thing. They don't really have any details yet, but I guess one of the things that's been a hang-up is the laptop motherboard they want to use. There's not really a well-developed driver for BSD for the network card, and they're working on getting that worked out before they really talk about it much because they're not even sure if they're going to be able to get it going, so they want to...
Interesting.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're a BSD user, this is kind of an exciting time because... it's a pretty great distribution, and now you can get a pretty high-end hardware desktop and maybe soon a laptop.
Nice.
So that's awesome. Right?
Very awesome. I love it.
So that's the PCBSD news for the week. If I know it's the Linux Action Show, we're not supposed to talk
come
about
on. BSD, those are our brothers, right? Brothers in arms.
There you have
and
it,
all
Brian.
that sort of thing.
Right?
Way to go, BSD folk.
All right, Brian. Well, that's all the news for this week.
That's very interesting, Chris. I did not know that.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're at 37 minutes. I'm gonna go yell at my dog.
He's going to go yell at his dog. I'm just going to sit here for a few minutes and just talk with you folks. No, not at all. I'm gonna bring up the chat room momentarily.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's on that one. Yep.
Oh, how you guys doing, everybody? We're just going to sit here while Chris goes and yells real quick. Oh, guys. So, how's everybody doing tonight? In a few moments here, we're probably going to be getting going with Casta Blasta, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you know. Yeah. So, what should we talk about? Well, it's, just you and me on the bridge of the Enterprise. We could, we could talk about Alan Quartermain novels again if you want. I'm thinking not a lot of you guys read the Alan Quartermain novels necessarily. Oh yeah, when's Coding with Bryan coming back? I'm not really sure. I want to change a few things about it. The problem with Coding with Bryan is it's really fun and easy to do for me when people call in. When they don't call in, it's just kind of a weird, awkward moment where I just sit there and look at the camera, much like this moment, and talk. But this moment, I don't know, it works because we're kind of in between segments and we're just hanging back and chilling. If the show were chilling with Bryan, it would work out pretty well, actually, because I just like to talk sometimes. But for Coding with Bryan, you kind of want, the call-ins. So I was thinking, maybe we need to spread it out a little further or get the word out a little bit more. I'm not really sure 100%. But yeah, I'm thinking we've hit a critical mass where we need to do another one. So we'll probably do another one next week. We didn't do definitely not this week because of the 4th of July here in the States. But maybe we'll do another one next week on the off week of the Linux Action Show. Maybe we'll do that. Off weeks of the Linux Action Show, we'll add in a little Coding with Bryan just so that the nerd factor remains high. And then we'll do that and then Cast a Blast a few days later. That might not be a bad way to go. Yeah, see, I can only rant so often, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? It's physically draining. Makes a man tired. Plus, I'm getting old now, you guys. I am getting old. I've been doing we've been doing this for 3 years. And I was in my 20s when we started. Now I'm old. Nothing's working anymore. Getting a little tired. You old guys know what I'm talking about out there. Stuff just does not work like it used to. So, here we go. What else would you guys like to talk about briefly? Yeah, Linux audio does still suck. Man, it's 3 years and Linux audio still sucks. Yeah, it's kind of cool, huh? Because the back of the Kindle is like this gray color, and so it reflects the green and actually ends up making the Kindle half green screen. That's really, really slick. The Kindle's green screening because it's gray. Oh, what's happening, John? Ladies and gentlemen, John is behind the camera right now from Castablasta fame.
So,
Hey, Jeremy, if you're out there on the internet world, go ahead and head on down.
is he still watching?
I have no idea.
All right. I yelled at my dogs. Put them up in the beds. Put them upstairs with the chewies. Let's see, here we go.
But baby, you're never there.
So do you want to, let's see. Let's cover the donations.
We gotta let's cover the
store.
donation. Yeah, in the store. Yeah.
And
We could recommend that people purchase an Amazon
Oh.
Kindle. Yeah, that's a good one.
I wanted to talk really quickly about Ubuntu 1. Maybe we do like a quick thing on Ubuntu 1.
Yeah, let's do a quick Ubuntu 1 review. Cause baby,
I'll do a call out because we were gonna have Matt on the show, but he's gonna join us next episode. So I want to get
Nice.
a call out for people's questions. So we'll hold the full review for then.
Okay, we'll just do a
But-
quick synopsis, what we're talking about, and let everyone know. Good deal.
Yeah, bring it up here. So there's been a few things that have already been asked that were
On the
fixed.
internet?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I know.
Everybody
I like how.
needs. That's pretty funny. You're looking at the internets right now. I was on the internet once. Saw a picture of a squirrel.
I gotta
He
get
was
fat.
he was on skis.
It is hot. All right, so we'll do a real quick Ubuntu
I'm
thing.
feeling fine.
No, we'll wrap. Shut up, Brian.
All right, Chris.
We'll wrap this fucker up.
Okay.
I mean, sucker.
Huh? That's what he said. If you heard something different, you're feeling a little naughty
It's
and you're
the leg.
injecting words into Chris's mouth.
It's the leg.
That's right.
It's the flash.
It's your own damned mouth.
All right, you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready.
In 3,
Yeah.
2.
All right, so I guess about 3 episodes ago we mentioned or maybe 4 now, the release of Ubuntu 1. Basically,
Yeah, we had a little discussion about that.
you know, Ubuntu's online storage offering that kind of integrates tightly into the Ubuntu desktop. So you have like a little drive
Yeah.
essentially. Well,
Yep.
in this case, just a folder, but that you can synchronize files with your other
Nothing
Ubuntu
like a drive, really.
PCs. So so that's
Pretty cool.
very cool.
If you're familiar with Dropbox, which we've talked about before, you kind of get the concept.
or Jungle Disk or
Well, no, Dropbox.
Dropbox is more like
it's like
it.
rsync only to the cloud, then back down to your machine.
Yeah.
And the thing is it's now being Canonical's working as they're going to do an offering. It's got a price attached to it for different
Yep.
packages and things like that.
Well, there's a free port of it.
And
yeah.
Brian and I have been trying it for a little bit, and so we're going to do a complete roundup of it next episode, and we're going to
Yep.
have someone on from Canonical who works on the project, and I want to get your questions. Now, some of you, if you follow us on Twitter, I've already asked some of you, and one of the more common questions I got is, how's the memory usage? Has that been addressed? And yes, there was an update.
Yep.
And it does use a lot less memory now.
It does.
But if you have any other questions, anything you want us to look at specifically, something you want us to ask Matt from Canonical, shoot those over to us.
Those are good things
We
to
mentioned
ask.
earlier, you've got the voicemail, you got the Twitters, you got the email, you got the JupiterColony.com. So lots of different ways.
It seems like there's a lot of options.
You know, Brian,
That's
there's
just
one
crazy.
thing we like to do is give people a choice. So let us know what you'd like to know about Ubuntu 1. I've got a few things already.
Chris.
Yeah?
Chris.
Yeah?
Are you insinuating that we like freedom?
Well, I don't know, Brian. You know, we used to use Macs.
That's a
little
good
inside
point.
joke.
That's a little inside joke. People have given us a hard time recently because
Yeah.
we used to use Macs.
Well,
like basically, here's the deal. So what happens?
You know
is,
when you make a good point and then somebody doesn't have a rebuttal to that good point?
yeah. So what's
I think
happened
he
now?
smoked once.
Yeah, right.
I heard back in '83 he might have got a DUI.
Right. If we come out and we make a really good point about something that that makes someone feel defensive in the Linux world, they're like, well, I hear that they used Mac a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Like, really? That's the comeback for this one? That's what you got? So that's kind of funny to us.
We're going to do a short show this week because we got a long one planned up for next week.
Long one.
2 weeks from now. And the last one went 45 minutes over. So shorter episode this week.
It averages out.
For those of you watching the live stream, we've got Cast a Blasted coming up, so stick around for that.
We do, don't we?
So everybody, we gave you the contact information ahead of time.
Please do it. We'd love to put the coals to Matt. Really like, what the heck you guys doing with a bunch of
And if you're enjoying yourself,
or praise him either way.
If you're enjoying yourself, some Linux Action Show or other Jupiter Broadcasting content, we always encourage the donations. You can utilize the donation feature over at jupiterbroadcasting.com on the right-hand side of the site.
That's an incredible idea, Chris. There's also down the right-hand side, there's a little store area. You can head on over there, and you can purchase things that we're maybe recommending, or if you want to buy anything from Amazon.com, you can go in there to start your Amazon journey, find other stuff, and then when you buy it, we get a cut, such as this here, Amazon Kindle ebook reader. You can purchase from the Amazon store, and it's very fancy.
Both of these things are from Amazon. These pomegranate Arizona energy green tea. Also bought from Amazon.
I also believe you can buy HP Mini 1000 netbooks from Amazon.com.
This is only funny to the people watching the video that we have these products
just random things.
What else
can I hold up? It's in my bag right now.
Okay.
Actually, I think this microphone, this MXL,
yes, actually,
this MXL microphone can be purchased from Amazon.com.
And it is in our store. So
is it really?
Yeah, of course. Everything we use is in there. So, the headphones.
The headphones, yes.
Yeah. John,
fantastic.
Out, yeah.
The M80 headphones, I believe they're still available from Amazon.com.
Of course.
This is a really good
Probably
point.
this table.
Amazon sells everything. You can buy diapers.
I do.
If you have babies and need boxes of diapers, buy them from Amazon.com through our store, and diapers will help fund the Linux Action Show.
Wow. Helping Linux Action Show, one poop at a time. All right.
Fantastic. I think that just about covers it for this week's episode of the Linux Action Show.
I think it does, Brian. We'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Thereabouts, yeah.
And the show was completely improv'd.
Oh.
Green tea, it's green.
Yeah, I know. It totally doesn't show up at all, right?
No, it doesn't. Well, you see the lid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. Well, it's like an alien on the ship of the Brit on the. Hey, Brian. All right. So
I'm trying not to.
The either of you look at Brian. I'm gonna let you.
You want me to just talk with these guys?
I'm gonna because I gotta get J Dog and J
Are you gonna leave
Rand.
my audio on?
Yeah, I'll leave your frickin' audio.
Make sure
on.
you mute their 2 channels before you start plugging in.
Oh my gosh, I'm sweaty.
Well, toggle it back over to the chat room so I can see those.
I just went through a whole thing with him about not barking. Jeremy,
Wow.
Is Jeremy here?
All right, we're going to do an impromptu, non-recorded coding with Brian right now. If you have coding questions, please go ahead and ask them right now, and I will give you a snarky response to them. Here we go, guys. All right, Chris and John have left the room. It's just me and you now. They'll never knew this happened. They'll never knew. They'll never know. That's the right way to say those phrases. That phrase. Wow, I can't speak English, apparently. All right, C# or C++? C#. C++ is dead. All right, next question. How do you code a B tree in Haskell? Oh, Lord. All right, I'm going to put a ban on all Haskell-related questions. Just flat out. If you have a question about Haskell, that's very much a dev null sort of question. It's gone. No Haskell related questions. Objective-C, worst language or worstest language? Okay, now here's actually kind of an interesting bit. So Objective-C, for those of you who haven't worked with Objective-C, let's talk about it in terms in kind of layman's terms for a second. In a normal programming language, and by normal I mean like old school, like C, right? You start doing all your stuff, one line at a time to do all your things. Objective-C, and Jeremy has entered the room. Jeremy, everyone says hi to Jeremy. He won't see you. And here comes the fingers. All right, Jeremy, put the fingers in there. So Objective-C is kind of cool in that it's object-oriented. Sure, that's great, blah, blah, blah. You get to combine things into objects, whatever, fantastic. But the cool part is everything's all about sending stuff around. Like, so you send a message to another object. So instead of just calling functions, you're sending messages, which really you might be asking, Brian, what's the difference between sending a message to an object and calling a method to an object? Almost nothing in actual practicality, but it's a very, very cool thing. Well, that's John's messing with the camera now. He's ruining all this stuff. But that's what I've got about that. But yeah, Objective-C I did as my primary language for a little while, and it just basically drove me crazy. It has kind of a steep learning curve for like a week or two. Once you get past that, it's totally usable. It's just, I don't know. It's not an overly effective and efficient language to work with. So I would, no. How do you code a B tree in Erlang? All right, so... So we're going to add Erlang to the Haskell list. No Erlang or Haskell questions on impromptu coding with Brian between the shows. I've been working on iPhone apps and it drives me nuts, dude. So I did one iPhone app as a like a demo, basically for a company I was working for, and it did hardly anything. You know, it was just a little tiny iPhone app, and the basics very easy to get working. Some of the more ridiculously complex stuff also easy to get working. The in the middle stuff, like the stuff that should be not that hard, ridiculously hard to make happen. Kind of ridiculous.
Why do I have an extra pair of headphones?
I'm scooting over right now as we get ready for the Linux, the Caster Blaster here.
Oh, because I'm
When will the pre-SDK be available? I don't know, in like a month, something like that.
Yeah, no, it's like fall, isn't it?
Yeah, it's no, it's there's
It's leaked right now.
it's leak. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a leak right now. If anyone wants my sweaty butt chair,
No, thank you.
I can just scoot that one this way.
Hey, put it on eBay.
Sign it first. With your
Come on in, Jabe. Come on.
There's a lump.
She's in my head, so come around.
All right, so somebody want to throw me the headphones plug?
I'm good.
Your chair there.
All right, John. What's the next question over there in the chat room?
What about a while loop in Brain?
All right, John. Sit down to that microphone. What?
What about a while loop in brainfuck?
In BF? All right, I'm not going to say the name out loud. So BF, if you don't know what it is, it's brain, sex.
With an asterisk.
It's an actual language. And they're asking about while loop, and it's, I don't know much about BF. Other than, well, it's got a great name, right? So how can it be wrong if it's got a name like BF?
It starts with a Brian or a B.
All right, Jeremy, read me the next one.
The next one is lol.
No, seriously, right? That's a good one.
Let's see. What's the next question? The in-between stuff that you have to do is just really annoying. How do you code a B tree in lol code?
Actually, oh God, what is that? I was actually just looking at that the other day as like a random joke with a coworker. For those of you who do not know lol code, I highly, highly recommend lol code, because even if you're working like an app and you have to do .NET development, you can code your .NET apps entirely in lol code. Am I off?
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Oh. What? Okay, there was another question that was, what's your